As most of you are no doubt aware, our church has been undergoing a fair amount of transition in the last couple of months. We've been talking a lot about how we as a church need to change in order to be better situated to meet and engage with a changing world. That includes, part of that is the sale of the South property, recognizing that one of the things that we need to do is use our resources in a way that helps us build a safer, healthier, better community, better neighborhood. A big part of the questions that we're asking, that the session is asking, that we should all be asking is, how can we be better neighbors? How can we help make a better community and a better neighborhood? So like I said, the sale of the South property, the use of that property for affordable housing, that's part of it. A part of it too is the recognition that for a growing segment of our population, church doesn't feel relevant and doesn't feel important, and I think that's a changing cultural understanding. I heard a pastor who once she was talking about the need for her church and possibly about their church closing, and she said something that I thought was really interesting and important for all of us to think about. She said, our neighbors don't want to join us in worship, but they do want us to be a part of the neighborhood. And so that church was in the process of trying to think about how they could maybe change the way that they did things to be better neighbors. And that's one of the driving questions that we as a church and that your church session is offering. How can we be better neighbors? How can we be better neighbors? How can we help parents who are struggling with their children, struggling with mental health issues or bullying in the schools? How can we help when people are facing addiction? How can we build a neighborhood and a community that is safe for young people and old people? How can we be a part of having important conversations when there are so few places left in our world to have, so few safe places left to have these kinds of conversations? How can we help make sure that people are fed and that their needs are met and that they're dignified? Those are issues that matter to all of us, whether we're Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or atheist. Those questions matter. And as a church, I think it's important for us to recognize that to be a part of those conversations, we are going to have to not simply invite people to join us here, but we're going to have to participate in those conversations. And that's where we are headed as a church. That's the kind of work that the session is working on. It's why the decision about the South property was made the way that it was. It's why the work is being done towards a new leadership structure. It's why we reaffirmed our values recently. All of these things are leading us to this one driving question, and it's one that I want you to think about. It's one that I think about every day. It's one that our session is thinking about. How can we be better neighbors?